Hey everyone, and welcome. I am absolutely thrilled to be your guide through today's explainer. If you're a first-time homebuyer stepping into the 2026 market, you probably feel like you're gearing up for some kind of epic quest. And honestly, you totally are. The financial landscape has shifted so dramatically over the last few years, and navigating it really requires a clear roadmap. So today, we're going to decode the 2026 housing forecast together, and we'll break down the exact financial preparations you need to actually succeed out there. We've synthesized all the latest research from top financial institutions to bring you this definitive guide. So grab your notebooks because we're going to turn all this economic data into your personal advantage. 50%. Yeah, if you've been feeling like the housing market is just uniquely punishing right now, I promise you, you are not crazy. According to a recent Outlook report by JP Morgan, the monthly cost to buy a home right now is roughly 50% higher than the cost of renting in the US. I mean, that is literally the worst housing affordability dynamic we have seen since the 1980s. I wanted to start right here because it validates exactly what you're feeling. It's incredibly frustrating. But understanding this baseline is the very first step. You aren't just fighting your local market, you're fighting macroeconomic gravity. But don't worry, we've got a plan to overcome it. Okay, let's dive straight into this. Here's our roadmap for today. Number 1, the 2026 housing market reality. Number 2, the silver linings playbook. Number 3, prepping your financial health. Number 4, slaying the debt dragon. Number 5, tax strategies for home buyers. And finally, number 6, finding your first home. Starting with Section 1, the 2026 housing market reality, facing the dragon. So the sheer scale of the problem we're looking at is pretty staggering. JP Morgan's data reveals that since the global financial crisis, the United States has underbuilt by 3 to 4 million housing units relative to household formation. Simply put, we just have way more people looking for homes than we have homes available. It's like a giant game of musical chairs, but we're missing millions of chairs. And JP Morgan estimates that based on current trends, it could take a full decade to close that gap. Add to that the fact that a lot of current homeowners are locked into those incredibly low mortgage rates from 2020 and 2021, and they are flat out refusing to sell. That creates this massive inventory shortage, our dragon, that's been guarding the housing market. Moving on to Section 2, the silver linings playbook, emerging momentum. All right, let's break down this really encouraging data from Realtor.com's 2026 forecast. First up, mortgage rates. They're projected to steady out at an average of 6.3%. Now, that is a very noticeable relief from the massive spikes we all watched in previous years. Second, price appreciation is cooling way down to a modest 2.2%. So the days of housing prices skyrocketing 20% in a single year, those are behind us. But the absolute most crucial metric here is for-sale inventory, which is projected to increase by 8.9%. Nearly 9% more homes hitting the market means more options for you, and crucially, way less fierce bidding wars. This is creating a much-anticipated window of opportunity. Now, you might be looking at that and wondering, wait, if home prices are still going up by 2.2%, how does that actually help me? Well, because in 2026, household incomes are expected to finally outpace inflation. According to Realtor.com, this combination means the monthly payment to buy the typical home is expected to slip down to 29.3% of the median income. So for the first time since 2022, the mortgage burden finally drops below that critical 30% affordability threshold. The market is adjusting, which means buyer incomes are finally getting a chance to catch up to the sticker prices. Which brings us right into Section 3, prepping your financial health, gathering armor and weapons. Both Morgan Stanley and Amerant highlight Lee's foundational money moves for 2026 to help you build some real financial stability. Step 1, make a realistic budget. You absolutely have to know exactly what cash flow you have available every month. Step 2, review your asset allocation. Make sure your savings, especially that down payment fund, are positioned correctly. You definitely want to be taking advantage of things like high-yield savings accounts. And Step 3, consolidate your debt. Streamlining your obligations just makes you a much more attractive borrower to mortgage lenders. Now, I know these steps might not seem as glamorous as going to open houses, but trust me, this is the heavy lifting that actually gets you the keys. And hey, just a quick but super vital note here from Elevate Credit Union. Improving your credit score doesn't happen overnight, right? But small, really consistent actions make a massive difference. Whether that's setting up auto pay so you never miss a deadline, or just keeping your credit utilization low, these habits are completely essential. Why? Because locking in that forecasted 6.3% mortgage rate, or ideally an even better one, is entirely dependent on you having a strong credit profile. Your credit score is literally your ultimate weapon in this market. All right, Section 4, slaying the debt dragon, the snowball versus the avalanche. So let's look at the two big heavyweight strategies for paying down debt, courtesy of Experian. First up, we have the debt snowball. This is where you pay off your lowest balance first. The huge benefit here is motivation. You get those quick psychological wins that keep you fired up to keep going. On the flip side, we have the debt avalanche. Here, you aggressively attack the debt with the highest interest rate first. Mathematically speaking, the avalanche is superior because it saves you the most money on interest over time. So the whole point is really just choosing what fits your personality best. Do you need the immediate dopamine hit of closing out an account or the quiet satisfaction of mathematical efficiency? Pick one and just attack it.
Moving right along to Section 5, Tax Strategies for Homebuyers, Keeping Cash in Your Pocket.
Okay, so for 2026, the Mariner Wealth Advisors Tax Guide reveals some major highlights stemming from the newly signed One Big Beautiful Bill Act, or OBBA. The standard deduction remains elevated. That's $32,200 for joint filers. The state and local tax, or SALT, deduction cap increases to $40,000. But if you're a first-time buyer, look closely at that last point. The annual gift exclusion sits at $19,000 per individual. So if you have family members willing to help you out with a down payment, they can gift you up to $19,000 completely tax-free. And think about it. If two parents gift to two partners, that multiplies really quickly. That is a massive lever to pull if you happen to have access to the bank of mom and dad. Also, the 2026 IRS tax brackets are locked in, maintaining that 10% through 37% range. But what's really interesting here is that these brackets feature additional inflation adjustments. Because the brackets actually expand with inflation while your tax rates stay the same, getting a raise at work won't automatically bump you into a higher tax bracket as aggressively as it used to. The result? More of your paycheck stays with you, which means more money flowing directly into your home buying fund. And finally, Section 6, Finding Your First Home, This Secret Path. We're all pretty familiar with the traditional path for a lot of young adults, right? High-density rental buildings and urban cores. But as Realtor.com points out, rents in major cities remain stubbornly elevated, kind of keeping you trapped on that treadmill. But there is a secret path emerging here: new residential construction. Check out this mind-blowing data point from Realtor.com. Right now, new construction has emerged as a genuinely affordable alternative, to the point where the price per square foot of new builds has actually fallen below that of existing older homes. Builders are really stepping up to fill the void of entry-level options by building things like townhomes and row homes. But wait, it actually gets better. Builders are sitting on inventory, which makes them highly motivated sellers, so they are actively using a strategy called a mortgage rate buy-down. This is a situation where the builder actually pays to subsidize your mortgage, offering you a special below-market rate. So, while the national average might be sitting around 6.3%, buying a new build could get you financing that is significantly lower, completely bypassing the broader market's interest rate penalty. It's a real game changer and an incredibly powerful incentive for first-time buyers. I really want to leave you with this quote from Realtor.com. They say, buyers don't need a record high amount of cash, but being close to 20% will see a big drop in mortgage rate. This officially busts the myth that you absolutely must have a rigid 20% down payment to buy a house. I mean, what a relief, right? You don't need a mountain of gold. However, the closer you can get your armor and weapons, meaning your savings, to that 20% mark, the better the financing terms you are going to unlock. It's all about being as prepared as possible. So that brings us to the ultimate question. The 2026 housing market is slowly opening its doors. The rates are steadying out, inventory is rising, and builders are out there offering deals. But the market only rewards the prepared. Are your finances ready to walk through that door? Have you built that budget, optimized your credit, and slayed your debt? Take the insights from today's explainer, apply them to your own financial life, and make 2026 the year you finally claim your first home. Thank you so much for joining me to decode the market today. I will see you in the next explainer.